love Christmas. Do you want to make sugar cookies? Peanut butter cookies? Christmas traditions. I don't even know where to start. Christmas Eve for me is probably my absolute favorite annual tradition growing up. My whole mom's side of the family lived very close to each other, and so we would always gather together on Christmas Eve, open presents, we'd play games, sometimes Santa would come, and we held this tradition for a really long time. I mean, way into my late 20s. We played the white elephant game, there was food galore, and we just had an absolute blast, and it was something I looked forward to every year. Then after, we would go home and we would get to open one present from mom and dad, and we would set out the cookies and the carrots for Santa and the reindeer, and then we would go to bed. Hi, you want to be in my video too? My other favorite tradition was baking Christmas cookies with my mom. I don't think it came as a surprise to anyone that the first holiday romance that I wrote was all about baking. We baked sugar cookies, Spritz cookies, peanut butter blossoms with the little Hershey Kisses in it. My dog's eating. And I still do, we still do this to this day. Every time I go home a little bit earlier now, but she's got like the sugar cookie dough ready, and we cook up a storm, and then we spend the night icing and decorating the sugar cookies. And whether it is Addie and Drake and their baking of gingerbread, or the annual cookies with Santa at the bed and breakfast in Cold Spring in For the Love of Gingerbread, there's lots and lots of baking in that book, and I think I owe it all to my mama. Also, real life, when it comes to making videos for YouTube, Pup's hungry, so you'll hear him chewing throughout this because that's just real life. But one of my other favorite traditions is watching Christmas movies. Rudolph, Frosty the Snowman, like the real, authentic, classic Christmas movies. We used to do that growing up all the time. Now, switched a little bit that I'm older, Mom and I, when I get to go home for the holidays, we watch Hallmark movies. I love Hallmark Christmas movies. I love getting to the Christmas spirit, and honestly, since I moved south and there's not a whole lot of snow down here, I need those kind of movies. Like, I just need them to feel Christmassy and to really get in the holiday spirit. And I think that's one of the reasons, personally for me, that I love those movies so much. I think that's one of the reasons that I set For the Love of Gingerbread in a small New York town that was like well known for lots of snow at wintertime, because I don't miss shoveling the snow, but I do feel like growing up in New York, the Christmas spirit was always like you always had a white Christmas. It was very, very rarely that you ever didn't have snow on the ground for Christmas. It has happened, but it is very rare. So I think that's one of the reasons I wrote For the Love of Gingerbread in a New York town, but also one of the reasons that I just love Hallmark Christmas movies so much, because they always take place in a nice wintry town. Of course, decorating the Christmas tree is always a tradition. My husband and I, since we've been together, we usually do it on Thanksgiving night or the day after. I always like to wait till after Thanksgiving to decorate for the holidays, but that's definitely one of the big things. And then, of course, my Christmas village that has grown over the years so much. Started with my mom. She actually bought me a couple pieces, and then I've added on slowly throughout the years. But I have a really awesome Christmas village and not enough room for every piece of it. But that's definitely one of my other favorite traditions for sure. I just love Christmas. I love Christmas. So many traditions that make this time of year so magical, and it just kind of makes your worries seem distant. That's why I love Christmas.